5 everyday foods that slow aging. After 60, proven by science. Have you ever wondered why some people, even at 85, still walk every morning, stay mentally sharp, and wear a radiant smile? While you just past 60, already feel like your body is going downhill fast. It's not just good genes or fate. Very often it all starts with what you put on your breakfast plate each day. I'm Dr. Thomas, 74 years old now, retired after over 40 years in geriatric medicine. Over those decades, I've seen countless patients once strong and independent begin to decline rapidly just a few years after turning 60. Their legs unsteady, memory fading, and every morning feels like a battle against fatigue and stiff joints. Almost all of them ask me the same question: "Doctor, is there anything I can do to stop myself from aging?" The answer is, no one can stop time. But we absolutely can slow the aging process. And sometimes that begins with something as simple yet powerful as food. Not supplements, not expensive therapies, but everyday foods that may seem ordinary yet can reverse chronic inflammation, renew aging cells, and help people over 70 regain clarity and resilience. In today's video, I'll share with you the food groups that have helped me and many of my patients stay healthy well into our 70s. The so-called senior-friendly foods that are secretly speeding up aging. And at the end of the video, a special breakfast recipe that I personally call the simplest rejuvenation remedy. I've been eating it every morning for the past 6 months, and it's helped me sleep better, ease joint pain, and return to long walks like I did in my 50s. If you're in your 60s or beyond and want to stay healthy, independent, and vibrant for years to come, this video is for you. Stick with me till the end, and don't forget to leave a comment. I'm also trying to live healthier each day, or ask any questions you have about today's topic. And now, let's uncover the one thing most seniors are overlooking that can completely change how you step into your later years. Part 1. The truth about food and aging. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right? Eating healthy, exercising regularly, yet your body still feels tired, your memory gets foggier, and your skin has lost its glow. You look at others, your age, still walking briskly every morning while you're winded just climbing a few stairs. And you wonder, maybe it's too late for me to get back to how I used to be. That quiet frustration is something many people over 60 carry with them. But what few tell you is this aging isn't just about how many birthdays you've had. It's the result of decades of hidden inflammation, cellular slowdown, and most of all, what you eat day after day. According to a study from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health Foods, high in refined sugar industrial oils and processed ingredients trigger systemic inflammation, a major factor behind rapid aging, memory loss, and muscle decline. Mayo Clinic also warns that diets lacking antioxidants and quality protein create the perfect storm for early onset of degenerative conditions. I remember clearly a routine checkup with one of my longtime patients, Mr. Walter, 76, a former civil engineer. He didn't smoke, drank very little, walked every afternoon, and believed he was eating pretty healthy. But during our visit, he looked at me and said, "Doctor, I don't feel like myself anymore. I wake up drained, my mind feels foggy, and my skin's gone dull." I saw the unease in his eyes, that helpless feeling of a body slipping away with no clear cause. We reviewed his daily diet: boxed granola, fruit juice, whole grain toast. It all sounded healthy, but in reality these foods were loaded with hidden sugars, lacked anti-inflammatory power, and contained almost no real protein. These so-called good-for-you breakfasts were spiking his insulin daily, triggering oxidative stress, and making his cells age faster. I shared with him a Harvard study that tracked over 100,000 seniors for 20 years. They found that those who regularly ate plant-based foods rich in flavonoids like broccoli berries and nuts aged significantly slower than those who didn't. Just by swapping part of his breakfast, switching from boxed cereals to boiled eggs, avocado, or a few walnuts, he could change everything. 3 months later, Walter returned. His steps were steadier, his eyes brighter, and he told me something I'll never forget. I didn't think a few food changes could make me feel this alive again. Aging is not a sentence. It's a reminder that with the right nourishment, the body can still heal even after crossing life's halfway mark. Food is not just nutrition. It's the most powerful way to reconnect with vitality. What do you think about this information? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. And in the next part, I'll show you 3 everyday foods. You've probably seen them, maybe even eaten them, without knowing they quietly hold the power to slow down the wheels of aging. The best part: they're easy to find, familiar, and perfectly suited for anyone over 60. Part 2. Foods you thought were healthy, but are actually speeding up aging. Have you ever eaten a breakfast you thought was healthy, only to feel sluggish, sleepy, or even lightheaded and bloated just a few hours later? Many older adults believe that simply avoiding fried foods, salt, or sugar is enough to stay safe. But the truth is, it's often the seemingly healthy choices that quietly accelerate aging without anyone warning you. I used to believe those marketing claims too. Whole grain cereal, heart healthy, 100% fruit juice, boosts immunity. But then I read a report from the Harvard School of Public Health that revealed many processed foods labeled as healthy actually contain high levels of sugar and refined starch, major contributors to chronic inflammation. And inflammation, as we now know, is one of the root causes of memory loss, joint pain, and muscle weakness in older adults. That revelation shocked me. I remember one patient named Linda, 68 years old, living alone in California. She told me that every morning she drank a glass of 100% natural orange juice and ate a slice of whole grain toast with sugar-free strawberry jam. What she didn't realize is that even without added sugar, 1 serving of orange juice contains over 20 grams of natural sugar, equivalent to nearly 5 teaspoons. When that sugar is absorbed quickly without fiber or protein, it spikes your blood sugar, then drops it just as fast, leaving you tired, dizzy, and accelerating cellular aging. The sad part is, Linda's story isn't uncommon. There's an entire generation that grew up believing in the classic American breakfast-boxed cereal toast juice and a cup of coffee with milk. It sounds reasonable. But according to Mayo Clinic, starting your day with high glycemic carbs, like these, can increase insulin resistance and reduce muscle recovery, especially after age 60. What I've learned over decades of practice isn't written in textbooks. It's in the eyes of patients like Linda, when they realize I still have control over my health. When I suggested she try boiled eggs, some leafy greens, a handful of fresh blueberries, and raw almonds instead. Just a few weeks later, she called me back with a soft laugh. I not only feel better, I'm sleeping better. and waking up doesn't feel like a struggle anymore. The lesson is clear. Take a closer look at what you call healthy. Food doesn't lie, but labels can. Learn to listen to your body, not just the bold letters on the packaging. If you've ever had boxed cereal, bottled juice, protein bars, or low-fat yogurt for breakfast, I'd like to ask you, how did you feel afterward? Energized or more tired? Please share your experience in the comments. Your story might be the eye-opener someone else needs at just the right moment. And in the next part, I'll share 5 incredibly simple foods, ones you've likely seen or eaten before, that can actually activate longevity genes, improve memory, and keep your heart beating strong, just like it did in your 50s. Stick with me because the best is yet to come. Part 3, 5 anti-aging superfoods for people over 60. Some foods, simple, familiar, even ordinary, are secretly the keys that help thousands of seniors stay healthy, sharp, and independent well past 70. Below are 5 foods I always recommend my patients eat every week. You don't need a lot, just consistency. Because these foods don't just help us live longer, they help us live better. 1. Broccoli. In my clinic, I call broccoli the body's janitor. Why? Because it contains sulforaphane, a compound proven to activate the body's natural detox enzymes, protect cells, and slow tissue aging. According to a Johns Hopkins study, people who ate broccoli 3 to 4 times a week had CRP inflammation markers 25% lower than those who didn't. Alice, a 71-year-old patient of mine, used to suffer from mild joint pain and chronic constipation. I simply advised her to steam broccoli, no added salt, and eat it with dinner. After 6 weeks, she told me something I'll never forget. I don't wake up stiff anymore. Quick tip: light steaming 3-4 minutes preserves sulforaphane best. Avoid overboiling. Do not eat raw if you have thyroid issues. Combine with olive oil and garlic for flavor and easier digestion. 2. Avocado. Avocados don't just taste good, they quietly protect your brain and heart. They're rich in monounsaturated fats, especially oleic acid, which Harvard Health confirms lowers bad cholesterol and protects brain cell membranes. A 2020 study from the American Heart Association found that seniors who ate avocado 4 times a week had a 20% lower risk of stroke. For years, I've eaten half an avocado with a boiled egg in the morning. It's simple, but it keeps my mind clear and my blood sugar steady all day. That's more valuable than any trendy diet. Best use: half an avocado a day is enough. Pair with eggs, spread on whole grain bread, no sugar, or toss into salads. Avoid overeating if you have fatty liver or need to control weight. Avocados are healthy but calorie-dense. 3. Blueberries. Tiny but mighty blueberries are packed with anthocyanins, antioxidants that protect brain cells and slow cognitive decline. A University of Cincinnati study found that just 1-2 cup of blueberries a day improved memory and focus in seniors over 65 within 3 months. My friend Harold, 78, once said, "I can't remember my bank password every time I log in." I suggested swapping his dessert for fresh blueberries. 10 weeks later, he laughed, "Now I remember my daughter's birthday. And even my 3rd grandkid's name." Science doesn't promise miracles, but sometimes the body just needs the right tools to repair itself. Tip: fresh blueberries are best about 1-2 cup per day. Frozen is fine, as long as no sugar is added. Avoid blueberry jams, juices, or dried snacks, which often contain hidden sugars and preservatives. 4. Walnuts. Many seniors don't realize omega-3s aren't only in fish. Walnuts are a plant-based powerhouse of alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, which reduces inflammation, supports heart health, and improves blood vessel function. A Nutrition Journal study found that people over 60 who ate walnuts at least 5 times a week had a 25% lower risk of heart disease and better memory than those who didn't. I usually suggest 7 or 8 raw walnuts per day. Chew well for better absorption. Add to salads oatmeal or enjoy as a light snack. Avoid salted, roasted, or sugar-coated types. Those lose their health benefits. Store in the fridge to prevent spoilage. 5. Turmeric with black pepper. Curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, can reduce systemic inflammation, ease joint pain, and support brain health. But many people don't realize it only becomes truly effective when paired with piperine from black pepper. A study in the Journal of Alternative Medicine found that curcumin absorption increased by over 2,000% when combined with pepper. I often make a warm veggie soup with turmeric and pepper, or mix 1 TSP of turmeric powder with warm water and a pinch of black pepper at night. It's not just a remedy for joint pain. It's a daily ritual, a way of thanking my body after decades of service. Reminder, use a 1:10 ratio, 1:4 TSP black pepper to every 1 TSP turmeric. Add to soups, smoothies, or warm drinks with honey. Important, if you're on blood thinners, diabetic medications, or have gallstones, consult your doctor before regular high-dose turmeric use. If you've already tried or love any of these 5 foods, please share your experience in the comments. Everyone's body reacts differently, and your story might inspire thousands of others on their healthy aging journey. In the next part, I'll show you how to combine these superfoods into one simple morning routine. No strict diets, no complicated recipes, just consistency, understanding, and a wholesome breakfast to start every day. Part 4, turning good foods into daily habits for healthy living. I once had a patient, her name was Rose, 70 years old, who listened to my entire nutrition consultation, smiled, and said, "It all sounds great, doctor, but if I'm supposed to eat a little bit of each, where do I even begin?" That question, I believe, is what many of us are quietly asking. We're not lacking information. What we're missing is the bridge between knowledge and habit. Because in the end, good health doesn't come from what you eat, once it comes from what you repeat day after day. What I've come to understand is this: the key isn't changing your entire life overnight. It's making small, right choices again and again until they lead to lasting transformation. And the easiest place to start is with your very first meal of the day, breakfast. For older adults, breakfast isn't just about filling your stomach. It's the moment when your body absorbs nutrients most efficiently, when your hormones are stable and your stomach has rested overnight. I often recommend my patients begin their day with a simple plate, half a sliced avocado, 2 boiled eggs, a bit of steamed broccoli, and a few walnuts or almonds. For dessert, a handful of fresh blueberries, or if the weather's cold, a warm drink with turmeric and black pepper. It takes less than 15 minutes to prepare, but the benefits can last all day. You'll feel fuller, longer, have fewer sugar cravings, enjoy clearer thinking, and perhaps, most importantly, feel a sense of intention in everything you do. Because when you start your morning by choosing what's good for you, the rest of the day tends to follow in that same healthy direction. Of course, not everyone can eat everything at once. Some people don't like the taste of turmeric. Others have nut allergies, and that's perfectly fine. The point isn't to follow it exactly. It's to choose 1 or 2 foods that work for you and make them your habit. It might be avocado and eggs, or oatmeal topped with chopped walnuts, or lightly stir-fried broccoli with lunch. The only thing I always emphasize is, don't let good foods stay on a list. Bring them to your real-life plate. And if you ever hesitate to start, remember, you're not doing this to become perfect. You're doing it to live more fully, one day, one bite, one better choice at a time. Do you already have a consistent breakfast habit? Or is there one of these foods you eat every week? I'd love to hear your story. Leave a comment, because your experience might be the exact encouragement someone else needs to start their own journey tomorrow morning. And in the final part coming up, I'll talk about the most important thing that aging can bring us: not just health, but the quiet freedom, peace, and self-respect that comes from truly caring for ourselves. Don't leave just yet, because what you hear at the end might be what stays with you the longest. Final part: living long isn't enough. What matters is living well and living free. I used to think that growing old meant learning to accept a weaker body, accept limitations, accept that we can no longer do what we once could. But then I witnessed something different. I saw an 80-year-old woman biking every afternoon to buy groceries, an 85-year-old man hiking with his grandson, a 90-year-old gentleman who still wrote handwritten letters, brewed his own coffee, and sat each morning on his porch reading without glasses. And I realized it's not age that defines our quality of life, it's how we care for ourselves each day. I don't dream of living to 100, but I do hope that for however long I live, each year will still find me strong enough to tie my own shoes, to cook my own meals, to open the door and greet the morning sun, and to step outside for a walk without needing to call for help. Maybe you're in your 60s or 70s now, and you feel like it's too late to start. But if you're still breathing, if you still want to live a life of dignity, it's never too late. A little broccoli each week, half an avocado, a warm glass of turmeric tea. These may seem like small things, but they're acts of kindness you offer your body. As if each day you're saying, I choose to live well, not just to live longer, but to live freely, to live fully, and to live with gratitude. If you see yourself in this story, I invite you to leave a simple comment: I'm starting my healthy living journey today. I read every word, and I truly believe your message might be the encouragement someone out there needs to hear right now. And if you'd like to walk this path with me, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. We have so much more to explore together, from small daily habits to life's biggest lessons. Because I believe that every day we live in good health is a day we live with deeper meaning.